It is the agenda for the 21st century you're living in today. For a brave new world where everything that you cherished and held true will no longer exist.
At least 6 people have been killed and 36 others injured after a suicide bomber blew himself up next to a group of Ashura mourners in northern Afghanistan on Wednesday. Officials in Balkh province said the mourners were paying tribute to Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad.
By Wednesday, the protesters outside China's defense ministry had gone, replaced by a heavy police presence. It's still not clear if any of the veterans were detained. Chanting unity is strength, they had demanded better government support for military retirees. There have been other protests by army veterans, but it's believed this was by far the biggest, lasting 12 hours.
They are trying to embarrass the authorities, and therefore this carries considerable risks. But they have also been careful because they never attack the authorities, the leaders. They are simply saying, we have been loyal soldiers, please take good care of us.
داخل عزادارای امام حسین بودن و به خاطر عزاداری آمده بودن و مهاجما از دروازه داخل شده بودن و پلیسایی که داخل دروازه بودن اینا رو زخمی ساختن و داخل شده بودن.
Bill O'Reilly has actually come out and said that there's at least 3 media organizations who have actually been ordered their employees to go out and flat out destroy Donald Trump. Now this comes to us courtesy of Fox Insider. They report that yes, at least 3 media organizations have ordered their employees to destroy Donald Trump, according to Bill O'Reilly making the statement this morning. They state here that sitting down with Bill Hemmer to analyze the debate between Trump and Hillary, O'Reilly said he's 100% convinced of the media plot against Donald Trump.
After Sunday's latest debate, some Republican supporters accused the media of bias towards Clinton. Many major U.S. newspapers openly endorsed the Democratic candidate, with the words like a determined leader regularly being used. Trump supporters, though, have also posted evidence online showing the remarkable similarities in how their candidates portrayed too. Caleb Moped now takes a closer look at Hillary Clinton's relationship with the media.
So, how does Hillary Clinton's campaign view the press? According to newly leaked documents from the Clinton campaign, they find the Fourth Estate to be made up of progressive helpers, friendly reporters, and even some surrogates. The leaked documents contain a list of friendly media collaborators, including figures from CNN, ABC, the New York Times, and many other popular mainstream outlets. There are hundreds named. This is what Hillary Clinton's press secretary wrote about Politico columnist Maggie Haberman.
We are all in agreement that the time is right to place a story with a friendly journalist that positions us a little more transparently. We have had a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We've had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed.
The leak shows that certain analysts like Donna Brazil and Hillary Rosen were referred to as surrogates for the Clinton camp. Staffers for Mrs. Clinton apparently had cocktail parties with key media figures like ABC's Diane Sawyer before the campaign even began, hoping to help, quote, frame the race and establish a good relationship. Was this relationship that was established on display during Sunday's debate? Some saw strong hints of bias from the anchors and moderators.
Mr. Trump, we're moving to an audience question. Secretary Clinton, we are moving to an audience question.
The audience had been instructed never to applaud. When they applauded for Trump,
we want to remind the audience to please not talk out loud. Please do not applaud. You're just wasting time.
Yet applause for Clinton was tolerated. During the debate, NBC News ran 6 fact checks on statements made by Donald Trump. None of the Clinton statements were questioned. After the debate, CNN decided to have a discussion with undecided voters. Some technical difficulties accidentally put something on the air. To many of the viewers, it looked like undecided panelists were being told what to say.
That America already is great, but we are great because we are good.
America's great. All right, so I want to ask you, what was it about Hillary Clinton's argument?
She stated that America is already great.
Russia is now being blamed in all crimes without any proof. Let's just take, for example, the attack on the humanitarian aid convoy. We know who hit it. It was one of the terror organizations on the ground. And we clearly know that the Americans are aware of this as well. But they prefer blaming Russia without proof. That's clearly not what can help the situation. This manner of acting at an international level is called pressuring and blackmail. But with Russia, that has never worked and never will.
A Putin ally is now warning all of America that they better vote for Donald Trump or face nuclear war. Can you believe it? That is probably some of the most fiery rhetoric I've ever had to cover on the campaign trail. If you thought the campaign and the election for 2016 White House was crazy, it just got crazier.
An ISIS nuclear threat, the UN warning that jihadis are plotting to target power plants across Europe. This after learning that a nuclear power plant was targeted 2 years ago. However, that attack was disrupted by a militant cyber attack. I want to bring in retired 4-star general and Fox News military analyst, General Jack Keane. General, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here, Maria.
How concerned are you about this warning?
Well, we've always been concerned about nuclear terrorism and the idea that somebody could be radicalized who's working inside a plant as an insider doing something, or actually possibly blowing up a plant. Now, for ISIS to have the capability to blow up a nuclear power plant, that's probably slim to none. Even an insider threat, it's very rare for someone by themselves to be able to cause a meltdown because there's so much of a team effort inside a nuclear power plant. People would be observed. However, cyber terrorism dealing with a nuclear power plant, that is an issue because their cyber capability is growing. And I think that's really what's got some people's concern.
Right, and so they're admitting that a nuclear power plant was already disrupted by a cyber attack.
Yes, that's true. And that occurred in Belgium, and there's been other attempts.
That was 2 years ago.
Correct, right. We've always been concerned about the cyber capability of terrorists. Think of this. In the United States, our critical infrastructure, financial banking, utility infrastructure, and our transportation system, they are vulnerable to a sophisticated cyber attack that our adversary countries have, Russia, China, to name 2. The concern that we've always had, what happens if the terrorists get their hands on that capability or buy it from the Russians, because half of the Russian cyber attack capability is criminal. That is a concern. So as terrorists get more sophisticated, they're going to move more and more to cyber capability.
Of course, they're going to try to do anything they can.
Yeah.
And the International Atomic Energy Agency head revealed that a terrorist had once tried to smuggle highly enriched uranium out of a power plant to build a dirty bomb.
A conservative Christian organization has filed a federal lawsuit challenging a new Massachusetts law that prohibits discrimination against transgender people in public restrooms. Alliance Defending Freedom filed that suit today on behalf of 4 churches. One of the churches involved is Abundant Life Church in Swansea. Suit seeks to allow churches to operate their facilities in a manner that does not violate their religious beliefs.
Kate Rich, Massachusetts voters will be asked if they want to repeal the new law that prevents discrimination on the basis of gender identity in public restrooms. The Massachusetts Family Institute said they were told Tuesday they've submitted enough voter signatures to put a recall effort on the 2018 ballot. The law allows transgender people to use bathrooms and locker rooms that correspond to their gender identity. The legislature approved the bill after years of debate, and Governor Baker signed it into law in July. Those pushing the repeal say they're defending the fundamental rights to privacy and safety, particularly for women and children. This also comes as a conservative Christian organization has filed a federal lawsuit challenging that same law. Alliance Defending Freedom sued Tuesday on behalf of 4 Massachusetts churches to protect their right to operate their facilities in a manner that doesn't violate their core religious beliefs.
Not hiding in the shadows. We're on your front doorstep.
That's what the Ku Klux Klan let people know over the weekend. KKK recruitment flyers were found by students at Clemson University Friday night.
Now university police are investigating.
Donald Trump supporters have created a new Twitter hashtag that's going viral. Hashtag Repeal the 19th. That's a reference to the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. The hashtag seems to have been inspired by an article published on the site 538 on Tuesday, looking at men's and women's voting patterns. It found that if the election only counted the male vote, Trump would beat out Clinton with 350 electoral votes to 188, far beyond the 270 required to win the presidency. Supporters began tweeting messages lashing out at Hillary Clinton and attacking feminism, like this one from David McCall, quote, "This is why we need to repeal and not replace the 19th Amendment. Hashtag repeal the 19th. Women are also using the hashtag in response to the map. One user tweeting, "Men continue to be great and cool." Another woman responding to her, at Emma Roller, "Men should never have given women the right to vote. Hashtag repeal the 19th.
The world's first experimental quantum communication satellite is running well, and official experiments will begin in November following completion of all in-orbit tests. Scientists say quantum communication offers ultra-high security as a quantum photon can neither be separated nor duplicated, making it impossible to tap, intercept, or crack information transmitted through it.
An unusual sighting on Lake Superior has people wondering, is it a lighthouse? Perhaps an oil rig? Or some sort of paranormal phenomena? While recording a music video shooting iconic Michigan landmarks, Jason Asselin and friends were watching a rainbow in the distance when they spotted something strange on the horizon, something the group had never seen before. Several miles off the coast of Marquette, Michigan, a tall, eerie, unidentifiable object appeared in the water. Asselin says the object was bobbing in the choppy lake water, rising hundreds of feet in the air, resembling a gigantic ship. But after about 20 minutes, Asselin says the object disappeared. He claims it could have been a ghost ship. According to the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum, the Great Lakes is the final resting place for more than 6,000 shipwrecks. The museum says about 30,000 lives have been lost in Great Lakes shipwrecks. Another theory from people who witnessed the abnormal activity is that it was a divine sighting. Jesus Christ walking across the water, carrying his staff. Whether it was a lighthouse, a lost vessel, or Jesus, Asselin says he's willing to accept everyone's opinion on what the sighting was, calling it a fun mystery.
Police in the UK have taken the unusual step of issuing warnings after a spate of creepy clown sightings across the country.
Now, in a deadly plane crash in Connecticut, the NTSB saying
Early indications are the plane was intentionally crashed. They are turning over the investigation to the FBI.
Officials say that a gas leak sparked a massive explosion in a suburban neighborhood outside of Chicago. The blast destroyed 2 homes there.
Turning now to Hurricane Matthew aftermath in North Carolina. Heavy rain from the catastrophic storm triggered dangerous flooding. Now rivers and dams are expected to overflow this weekend. Evacuations are underway in low-lying areas as the death toll in North Carolina climbs to 19.
Two men in jail right now charged with kidnapping and raping a Johnson County deputy.
The sheriff says the men grabbed her as she was walking into work late Friday night, right in front of the sheriff's department's parking lot.
41 Action News reporter Lisa Benson has more.
24-year-old William Luth of Blue Springs and 21-year-old Brady Newman Cadell of Independence were both arrested for assaulting a Johnson County sheriff's deputy. They are charged with aggravated kidnapping and 2 counts of rape. We stopped by Luth's Blue Springs address and were asked to leave, but remnants of police crime scene tape could be seen on the property.
Yemeni medics say nearly 30 cases of confirmed or suspected cholera have been registered over the last few days in the capital Sana'a. They're hoping it won't turn into an epidemic, meaning the disease isn't spreading. But thousands of families who have fled Yemen's year-and-a-half-long war are living in camps just outside Sana'a, in conditions that could potentially change that. Much of the country's infrastructure is destroyed, including schools and hospitals, and half of all health centers stopped working long ago because the government stopped sending them money. The United Nations first reported the cholera outbreak last Friday, and the World Health Organization is taking steps to help curb its spread.
2 weeks ago, Sarah West went to the hospital with a thyroid issue, and the whole time insisted on wearing a surgical mask
to make sure I didn't catch anything that was floating around in the hospital.
Her fear? Going in for one problem, but by the time she left,
it's getting something worse.
Now, a new study from Reuters concludes Sarah's fears are well-founded, that an epidemic of hospital-acquired bacterial infections like MRSA are killing people in this country, but going vastly unreported.
It's absolutely in every case the physicians call.
Steve Heward with the Florida Department of Health says it's only their job to make sure death certificates are properly completed. The state records what doctors tell them.
What they put on there is what we put on the official form, and that's what officially goes in.
That, the study suggests, creates a conflict of interest. Hospitals and nursing homes looking to avoid lawsuits, citing the initial reason a patient was admitted when recording cause of death.
What they determine the cause of death is, and that's what it is.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, about 23,000 people around the country die each year from superbug infections. But Reuters reviewed the death certificates and found it was much worse than that, close to 180,000. The study found there may be a couple of other reasons that superbugs are left off the death certificate, perhaps a lack of training or lab results that take too long to get back. But critics say the public has a right to know just how widespread this problem is.
WikiLeaks released an email from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. Look at this subject line: needy Latinos and one easy call. Wow. Joining us now is reaction from the Trump Organization, Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump. How are you?
Hey,
Good to
Sean.
see you.
How are you?
I saw you had tweeted that out earlier today, so obviously you're paying attention to this. Imagine your father talked about needy Latinos.
When does it end? You know, first it's deplorables, then it's irredeemables. It was super predators before then. Today it was rednecks. Now we're talking about Christians, evangelicals were getting killed earlier today by these emails. Now it's needy Latinos. It is, you know, and they talk about us being the party of bigotry and the party of hate. And it's not until Julian Assange comes along and obviously releases these emails via WikiLeaks.
The real Democrat. Remember the original release on the DNC? What did it show? It showed racism, sexism, misogyny, anti-Semitic language in there. And that's the very arguments they make against Republicans every 4 years. That's them.
Look what else it showed. It showed corruption in Haiti. It showed that Donna Brazil was giving Hillary questions, you know, ahead of time for these debates. I mean,
conspiring against Bernie.
It truly shows the true level of corruption in our government. I mean, and in the Democratic Party. I mean, it's actually very, very scary.
I've got some unbelievable breaking news for you right now. Yes, video showing Bill Clinton raping a 13-year-old girl will plunge the election into chaos. That's according to a claim that has just been levied by the notorious hacking group Anonymous. Jim Hoft of the Gateway Pundit picked up on it. Yes, shocking video on the horizon. Anonymous says there is video of Bill Clinton raping a 13-year-old girl on Jeffrey Epstein's Orgy Island. They've made the claim in a video. They say it will plunge the presidential race into chaos.